Ashley asked me if I'd write her a song, so I wrote her a song for her awesome show. Her show is cool and it's lots of fun, so get your popcorn ready, everyone. Who will she interview on her show today? The Jonas Brothers or Nick Lachey? It's the Awesome Ashley Show. The Awesome Ashley Show. The Awesome Ashley Show.
Hi, welcome to the Awesome AISHAA Show. Today I have Hannah AISHAA. She is a photographer. She's going to teach us a little bit today on how to take pictures and how to take pictures on our phones, and because we all now these days we all have cell phones and we take pictures on our iPhones. So I wanted to learn a little bit something if there's a technique that we can do for people that have iPhones, because we don't usually have just a camera now. Right. It's always on our phones. So hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
I know. This is awesome. So how did you, were you interested in photography when you were a kid, or
Yeah, pretty much.
growing up, or?
It was on and off. It wasn't like that's what I absolutely want to do when I, become an adult. But yeah, it was just all around. We used to go on vacations or anywhere where I used to go with my friends even. Those little disposable Kodak cameras that you could get. Yeah,
and then you throw away after.
Yeah, I would buy those all the time and then, get the pictures developed. And so there was that interest, I guess you could say, from when I was younger. Then my dad took a bunch of pictures as we were kids all the time. Wherever we went.
It was
kind of annoying, yeah, always. But now that we look back on those pictures, we really appreciate all that. So
now you have memories to look back at.
Exactly. So it's been there on and off. I think I got really serious about it just a few years ago. I actually wanted to do more filmmaking, and it was kind of through that I was like, well...
Yeah, and we'll get into that too, filmmaking. Because I just learned that this morning when I met you. I was like, I didn't realize you did film.
So, a little bit, yeah.
So did that start first, and then you went into photography?
It did. So I was teaching at a school at Stepping Stones Montessori School in Chelsea, and I taught there for about 3 years. And it was, as I was teaching, I also wanted to do YouTube on the side, and that's where it kind of started with more of the filmmaking. And I was doing some music videos for friends and helping out, one of Hannah Harleen's music videos. I recorded that for her.
Hannah Harleen's a good friend of mine too.
Yeah. So I edited that for her as well, and we got it up on YouTube, and just a few things here and there. But then, because it really wasn't going anywhere and I needed more people, I even did a short film with my cousins. Yep. And they were part of the cast and all that. Kind of what I was telling you before, how I was the one who was cracking up every time. But yeah, it didn't really go that far. There's a little trailer of it on YouTube. It's called, I'll send it to you. It's called Halal Meets Kosher. And it was, because we're originally from Pakistan, and so we're Muslim. And I just made up a story that it was between a Muslim guy and a Jewish girl wanting to be together and get married, and just how funny it is between the two families and how they would react.
And both religions.
Yeah. Exactly. So I really wish I could have done more with that project because it was so much fun, and I might in the future. But for now, there's a small trailer. We made some, maybe one episode or something. I wish it could have gone further. There was just a lot of mix-up with my time and their time. They're all the way from New York City, so
it's kind of hard
to. But it would have been a lot of fun. Yeah. And that's kind of where the filmmaking stopped. And then I just realized, hey, I still have a camera. I can still do stuff, and that's how I really got into photography.
And so, do you have a website for your photography?
I do.
Because I looked everywhere.
Really?
Is it on your Facebook? Cause
it is. I think.
I looked everywhere. All I saw was pictures. Because I was trying to figure out if you had a website. I'm like, I'll have to ask her on the show.
I have a page on Facebook. It's a different page for my photography.
Like my Awesome AISHAA page.
Yeah, exactly.
I have two separate ones.
Yeah, and then I think the website's, it should be on there. I'm pretty sure it is, but it's just HannahAisha.com. So, yeah.
And do you take wedding pictures, or?
I don't. That's one little thing that I'm actually scared of. Everyone's like, why don't you get into weddings? And I would love to, but I am so, like, I have this in my mind that something could happen to the SD card or something could
Yeah.
happen to my camera, and I would lose all those pictures, and the poor couple would lose, like, everything from the, like, engagement shoots I do, and I've done some with the stars as well.
Yep. Those are awesome pictures.
Thanks. But I've never actually said yes to any weddings. It's just, I'm just too scared that something's going to go wrong, and so.
What's the best lighting for taking pictures? Or I wouldn't season or like, but I know you can take pictures any time of the season.
You can. The best lighting is usually either at, a lot of people say golden hour, which is like a time during sunset. That's probably the most flattering because then you don't need extra lights, or even during the day. But if the sun is like really high in the sky, that's a bit too harsh sometimes.
Now, where do you take Hannah to take those pictures? Because those are like beautiful pictures,
yeah.
like the background and stuff.
We've gone to the beach. I think it was Popham Beach that we went to, and then here and there. One photo shoot we did right at my house. My parents have a really lot of land in the front, so they have like pastures, and so
that's
we
really
were just
cool.
randomly out in the front yard. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if we've really gone anywhere else for pictures.
Yeah, because the background just like makes her face light,
Yeah.
bright up a little more, and like just what she wears too makes it.
I mean, you can get those kinds of pictures anywhere. It's just about kind of getting into the practice of it. It's just, you got to just keep doing it. That's the best part, is that, because I didn't actually have anyone to teach me. I was
That's the other thing
using,
I was gonna ask you is like, did you go to school for it?
no, YouTube and just reading stuff online. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Self-taught. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I took one filmmaking course in college, but it wasn't really set on how to take or how to actually shoot film, or it was just the start of it, and it talked about lighting and other aspects, but we were always watching old movies to kind of learn all of those techniques, but we never actually used, and I'm sure if I would have gone further with the whole program, then probably.
And do you use different lens depending
Yes.
on what kind of lighting it is and stuff like that?
The lens is more so for how close or how far you want to be from whatever you want to photograph. So for like her pictures, Hannah's pictures, or like any people that I take pictures of, it's mostly just a 50 mm, which is just a small little.
Okay, so it doesn't, like, for people that are trying to get in photography.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a expensive kit.
Oh no, not at all.
Okay, 'cause
No, you don't even have to actually have a full like large DSLR. You could actually use one of the smaller ones, the handheld, like the small cameras that have like everything attached to it already. Even with those, or even with your phone, like you said.
Yeah.
But
because I wanted to know some tricks or tips that you
Yeah.
can give people because I take my phone everywhere, and I'm sure a lot of people do. 'cause
Yeah.
we always have it in our pocket, like it's always next to us, and there's a camera right on it. So most people don't carry cameras anymore. It's because it's right on their phone. So and then you upload it to Facebook or Instagram.
It's like instant.
So is there any tips and tricks for people that have iPhones or phones?
There is actually. I don't know if every phone. I'm pretty sure some of the phones have it. I know for Samsung, because that's what I use. There is like a mode that you can go into where you're using the regular camera, but you kind of like swipe to the side, and you can actually access some other parts of it, and that's like the Pro mode. I think Apple or iPhone should have the same thing.
Yeah.
And you can actually go and kind of manually change all of those settings, the lighting, like the ISO, and your manual or autofocus, you can change those.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's just like I said, trying to get into the hang of it.
And I know before the show, I know this is a little off topic, but you said you had your own show on YouTube and you interviewed people.
Yeah.
Can you tell people a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
so like I said, we're originally from Pakistan, and before, I think it was like maybe, 72 years now or 71, I could be wrong. But it was in 1947 as a partition. Pakistan used to be like attached to India. It was still a part of India until the British kind of left and they granted their independence, but they split the country. So, and it's a lot of atrocities happened. A lot of people went through a lot of hardships, and they had to migrate from one side to the other. So Muslims had to migrate to Pakistan, and Hindus and Sikhs or anyone else had to kind of migrate to India. And there was a lot of violence, a lot of horrible things that happened. So I was able to actually find people that are still alive today that went through that. So it's not like a happy interviewing. It was really sad, actually, but it was great hearing their stories. So I think I might have interviewed maybe 12, 13 people so far.
That's awesome.
But I never got all of those up on YouTube. And the ones that I did have up on YouTube, it just got a little crazy in the comments.
Yeah.
You know how like people because there's still a lot of tension between India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
So people just went to town with the fighting and, right in the comment section. So
that's why sometimes like people have to be careful of what to post.
Exactly.
Because you don't you want to post it because you're proud of it or we're proud of it, but then the negativity out in the world is just like, okay, this is I was trying to do something good,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, I mean, it wasn't enough to make me stop, but it also, I didn't really have much more to do. And a lot of people that were alive then aren't alive anymore. It's really hard to find people that have gone through that. And plus, maybe some people just don't want to be a part of it. A lot of it is that I think one time we were in New York City and my dad found somebody and he was just speaking to this man and he told my dad his story. But then my dad had asked him, would you be willing to say this again on camera? And he refused to because it was just too much for him.
Yeah.
It was too sad, too depressing. And so, yeah, probably that was maybe the first time he's even spoke about it in all those years.
Wow.
So, which I totally respect. So.
Yeah. Sometimes people are camera shy, especially.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. So I just said, you know what, that's okay. Good.
Can you show us some of your pictures you got in?
Yeah. So
these are awesome pictures, by the way.
Thank you. So this one, of course, as you know, is for you.
That's what a gift for me. I'm so happy to go home and frame it, put it in my room.
Yeah. This one was the very first picture that I ever took of the stars. It was right in our backyard, and it was the very first one.
That's awesome.
So,
what about that one right there? Yeah.
Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated. It's not like you're just like one, like that one was just like one shot that you take.
Yeah.
This is about, I want to say 100 and over 140 put together. So, yeah, it's called the Star Trail photo. And as it kind of comes into it, this is about where Polaris is.
Yep.
So, that's kind
cool.
of how, like, you can see the circle kind of coming to a point.
That's awesome. It looks like a tree, like.
Yeah, the tree is there, and then it's, like, coming right to the,
cool.
the middle.
I really like that one, though.
This one's your
orange
favorite?
in it, yeah.
This was of the solar eclipse last year.
That's cool.
Yeah, this took me a long time.
Do you have to use different filters on your?
Yeah. So you should
computer?
have a solar. Well, no, on the camera itself, you can get filters that go on the
really?
end. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had to. I thought you. See, I'm learning a lot today. I thought you had to like take the pictures, like SD card or your
Right.
and use a program on your computer.
Yeah, afterwards you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all of these I had to as well. But for that one specifically, you should have a solar filter because it can easily ruin your camera because of how strong the sun's rays are. But I didn't. So whatever filters I had just for regular photography and just a little bit of daytime photography, I stacked all of them together, put it on the end, and I had the whole camera and the lens covered with a black shirt as well. And that was interesting.
Yeah.
But I got something, so.
And that's another thing I was gonna ask. Like, how do you protect your camera of like winter? Like, I mean, not winter, but weather-wise, like
Yeah.
rain. Like, what if you go out and take a picture and it starts like
Yeah,
raining?
I
Like,
do. What I usually do is I'll take like a nice thick plastic bag
Yep.
and like make a hole in it for the lens to go through
Yeah.
and then cover the rest of the camera and the lens
that's
while
cool.
I'm out there. So it's a
about-
little harder to see, but
What about this one?
this is another star trail. This is right from our front yard.
Right from your front yard?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the good thing about living up in Chelsea is that there's not a lot of light pollution. There's a bit coming from Gardner and from Augusta, but
That kind of looks like a rainbow, like
yeah. So that's the Milky Way in the back.
yeah.
I
It's
can
like
show you like
fireworks, kind of.
yeah. I'll show you the one picture, but this isn't like another. I want to say 150 or more photos put together, and that the program.
How do you put them all together? You just put them all.
I have it set up so that it's I have like a device that works with a camera and it just takes a photo every I would say about 25 seconds or so.
Yep.
And then I put all of those onto the computer
And
into
put-
one program and the program does it all.
That's awesome.
But then you get to kind of
I
play
didn't
with the
think you
colors
could do
and
that.
stuff
Like I thought
afterwards.
you could just take one picture and that would be it. Like I didn't think you could add.
No, you definitely can. They have quite a bit of editing softwares for specifically star photos.
Wow, I did not.
And
know that.
I don't know if you saw it, but this down here is Mars.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, fun. This one is, we have family friends that own, or one of the owners of the school that I used to work at, and my mom still works there, but this was their barn, and it's no longer there. So before it went down, I really wanted to take a picture of it and get the Milky Way in the background as well. So,
That's cool.
so that was
Is
for
it
them.
called Milky Way or is it just? Is that the name of the barn or is that just the name of the photo?
No, it's just the stars.
Okay. That's cool.
And then same with this one. This is of the Milky Way again, but this is at Acadia National Park up on Cadillac Mountain.
That's really cool because it's like dark in the background, but you can like see the middle pop up.
Yeah, so that's the right middle of the galaxy, and we can't really see that. Like, so when you're out at night,
Yeah.
the only thing that you really see is like a nice cloud. It kind of looks like a cloud, but it's like a big cluster of stars, and the camera is what picks up all these colors.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, of course, you can play with them in your editing programs afterwards.
It must be hard to take pictures at night. with your-
That was a weird story. I went by myself, and I got there, and there were some people there, but there was this random guy, really tall, standing by his car, and it was really dark, because out there it's like, and you can get in at night, but it was weird. So I wasn't sure if I should even stay, but I had driven, I think it took me about 2.5 to 3 hours. So I was like, okay, I'm here. I've got to do something. And finally, after a little while, some ladies ended up coming. They drove up, and I guess they were like on a vacation. They were like two best friends, and they like to travel to different places. And that was one of their stops, was to stargaze on Cadillac Mountain.
Nice.
So that night I was quite lucky. They were like, oh yeah, we'll chill next to you. We'll stay with you. And the guy didn't move.
He didn't move.
He just stood there. I was like, okay, there's something going on. So that was the, I don't know. I'm sure he was fine.
Yeah.
I could have just been freaking out for no reason. But yeah, that was a very weird encounter. He stood there the whole time, just right by his car, just standing there. It's like, hello, should I say hello, should I not? And then I decided not to.
So what would you say to the viewers,
Yeah.
like if they're interested in photography or want to get into photography? Like, what's the easiest way? Because you learned from the computer and just taking pictures
Right.
yourself. So is that the easy way to?
I think so. Or if you know someone who takes photos, definitely ask around. Even better than that is just if you have a camera, no matter what you have, or even your phone, just go out and take pictures. That's the best. I mean, I wasn't great at composition before until, getting more practice. That's the best way, is just to go for it and whatever time you have, take pictures.
And I'm sure with your family, I'm sure you're the photographer for for your family.
Yes, but my brother has been trying to like kind of
Has
be
he
in
been trying to
competition
go
with
in the
me,
footsteps?
but he's the family phone photographer, and I'm just the family photographer. So he
Gotcha.
takes all
So
of
that
his
way you guys
pictures with
both
his
have
phone.
both
He tries. He actually gets some
versions.
good pictures with his iPhone, but yeah, he's big about being the family phone photographer.
That's
So,
funny. Yeah, so I hope you get in some of those pictures because if you're behind the camera,
I don't actually. I don't actually like being on camera a lot, so.
is there anything else you want to
Well,
add?
there is this one right here.
Oh yeah, we forgot one.
This is taken with a telescope as well as the camera, and this is the Orion Nebula. It's part of Orion's belt.
That's really
So
cool.
it's
I really
a little
like
bit
that.
more blurry and a little bit more out of focus just
You
because
really
of.
do have an eye for all these
Thank you.
pictures. And do you take senior pictures or stuff like
I
that?
do. I used to, not so much anymore, just because it's difficult to get clients and, around where I live. I don't know. It's just not as easy, or people aren't really willing to. So I just kind of like doing what I do.
Those are awesome, and thank you. Thank you so much for my gift. I can't wait
Yes.
to frame it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to let the viewers know what like about your website or YouTube?
YouTube, not so much. I really don't do anything on YouTube anymore, but I do a lot of my photography is on my Instagram. And
Yeah, because you have two eyes. Because I tried to.
yeah.
I'm like I'm confused. Yes, we didn't realize. I don't know what's on.
Well, I have one that's it started off as being a personal account, and then I kind of switched it to being more of an art account. So any of the art that I do goes on that one. But Hannah AISHAA Photo is where all of my photography
And I
is.
have both of them now.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry for that confusion.
It's okay. But I have both of them, so I'm covered.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for showing your awesome photos.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
telling us a little bit about how to take photos on your phone, and like you said, there's settings and on your phone somewhere.
Yeah, even those you can find on YouTube. It's great. There's all kinds of
Yeah,
tutorials
because
on
you
what to
just
do.
type in like how to take pictures on your phone, right, on YouTube, and it
Yeah, I'm sure
shows you
Apple
how-
has like a pro
yeah.
mode, and just see how to use that.
I should have asked your brother. I should have had both of you. he'd get interviewed too, because he takes a lot of pictures on his phone too. So
Yeah.
he must have like some tricks and stuff too.
Yeah.
So since he's the since you're the actual photographer,
Yeah.
he's the photo
He
photographer.
tries. I don't think he knows about those extra settings. Even if I taught him, he would be like, "No thanks."
Did you try to teach him, or
I actually bought him a set of, I think, was it for his birthday or for Christmas? I bought him a little set of extra lenses to go on the back of his of his phone.
Yeah.
I don't think he's used them yet. Thanks, brother. But hey, if he wants to be the phone photographer, I got him some extra lenses so he could
that's
try.
awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
I really
me.
appreciate it. And again, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had to travel all the way from
Oh no, it's fine.
Augusta.
I had
This morning.
to. No. This is great. Thank you so much for having me. I feel so lucky to be on the show. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned a little tips and tricks on how to take photos on your whatever camera you're using, phones. A lot of us use our phones now and then instead of actual cameras. But anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye.
Who will she interview on her show today? The Jonas Brothers or Nick Lachey? It's the Awesome Ashley Show. The Awesome Ashley Show. The Awesome Ashley Show. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ashley asked me if I'd write her a song, so I wrote her awesome show.